There once lived a man in a quiet town on the edge of a vast desert. Although his life appeared ordinary, his mind was never at peace. Every sunrise seemed to bring a fresh burden. Some days he worried about earning enough money, while on others he feared for his health. At times, family matters troubled him, and on many occasions, disagreements with people around him stole his peace. No matter how hard he tried, it always felt as though happiness stayed just beyond his reach. One day, word spread through the town that a respected Zen master had arrived with one of his disciples. People spoke of his wisdom and the way he helped others see life differently. Hearing this, the man thought to himself, "Perhaps this is the opportunity I've been waiting for. Maybe this wise teacher can show me how to free myself from all these endless problems." As evening approached, he went to the place where the master was staying. A large crowd had already gathered, each person hoping to seek guidance. The man patiently waited for his turn, holding on to a quiet hope. He kept telling himself, "Maybe today I'll finally discover the secret to a peaceful life. Maybe today everything will change." After waiting for quite some time, the man was finally invited to meet the Zen master. He respectfully bowed and spoke with a heavy heart. "Master," he said, "my life feels like an endless chain of difficulties. Whenever one problem disappears, another one takes its place. Sometimes my work becomes stressful. At other times, my health troubles me. If those worries fade, family issues arise, and if everything seems fine at home, something else goes wrong. I have become exhausted." Looking into the master's calm eyes, he continued, "Please guide me. Is there a way to end all these problems so I can finally live with peace and happiness?" The Zen master listened without interrupting. A gentle smile appeared on his face before he replied, "My friend, I will answer your question tomorrow morning. But first, I need a small favor from you tonight." Without hesitation, the man answered, "Of course, master. I will gladly do whatever you ask." The master nodded and said, "A wealthy merchant from this town has gifted me 100 camels for my journey. Tonight, I want you to watch over them." The man smiled with confidence. "That won't be difficult. I'll take good care of them." The Zen master smiled once more and added, "There is only one condition. You may go to sleep only after every one of those 100 camels is sitting down." The man thought for a moment and quietly laughed to himself. How difficult could that be? Convinced that the task was simple, he accepted the responsibility and walked toward the herd, unaware that this ordinary-looking assignment was about to teach him one of the greatest lessons of his life. The man walked toward the herd and carefully observed the camels. At first, the task seemed surprisingly easy. A number of camels were already resting on the ground, while a few remained standing quietly. He approached the ones that were standing and gently encouraged them to sit. After a little effort, one camel finally knelt down. The man smiled with satisfaction, believing the work was almost finished. But the moment he turned around, he noticed that another camel, which had been sitting peacefully just seconds earlier, had suddenly stood up. Without wasting any time, he hurried toward it and tried again. After a few minutes, that camel also sat down. Yet before he could relax, two more camels on the opposite side of the herd got back on their feet. The man's confidence slowly began to disappear. For the next several hours, he moved endlessly from one camel to another. He persuaded some with patience, raised his voice at others, and did everything he could think of. A few camels settled down on their own. Others responded only after repeated effort. But there were still some that simply refused to sit, no matter how hard he tried. As the night grew darker, his task became more exhausting. Everyone around him had fallen asleep, but he was still running across the field, trying to make every single camel sit at the same time. He had no idea that this strange challenge was quietly preparing him for a lesson he would never forget. As the hours passed, the night became colder and quieter. The man was completely exhausted. His feet ached from running back and forth. His eyes were heavy with sleep, and every part of his body begged for rest. Yet he could not lie down because the Zen master's condition had still not been fulfilled. Whenever he thought he was finally close to success, something unexpected happened. If 90 camels were sitting, the remaining 10 stayed on their feet. When he managed to settle those, a few others would suddenly stand up again. Even when 95 camels were resting, the last few refused to cooperate. And just as he felt victory was within reach, another camel, somewhere in the herd, would rise again. The man spent the entire night chasing the same goal. He tried every possible method, but there was never a single moment when all 100 camels were sitting together. Finally, the first light of dawn appeared on the horizon. The Zen master stepped out of his tent and found the man sitting silently on the ground. His clothes were dusty, his face looked tired, and disappointment was clearly written in his eyes. With a gentle smile, the master asked, "My friend, did you get a good night's sleep?" The man gave a helpless smile and replied, "Master, I couldn't sleep at all. I did everything I could, but no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't make all 100 camels sit down at the same time." The Zen master looked at him with kindness and said, "Let me guess what happened last night. Some of the camels sat down on their own without any effort from you. Others settled only after you guided them, and a few refused to sit no matter how many times you tried. But after some time, even some of those eventually rested by themselves." The man's eyes widened in surprise. "Yes, master," he replied, "that is exactly what happened." The master gently nodded and said, "That is because the camels were never the real lesson. They were only a reflection of life itself." He paused for a moment before continuing. Our problems are very much like these camels. Some difficulties disappear naturally with the passage of time. Some can only be solved through patience, effort, and determination, and there are others that refuse to change no matter how hard we struggle. Those are the ones we must leave to time instead of fighting endlessly. The man listened in complete silence. The Zen master continued, "Last night, you discovered something important. Every time you managed to make one camel sit, another one stood up somewhere else. Life works in the same way. As soon as one problem is solved, another challenge often appears. That doesn't mean life is unfair. It simply means that challenges are a natural part of living." For the first time, the man began to see his life from a completely different perspective. What had seemed like a frustrating night was slowly turning into a lesson that would stay with him forever.